Hi, this is Peggy van der Plassche, and today we're going to talk about mentoring. So I was on the panel last week, and I had the usual question of mentoring women, why is it so important, and so on. So I actually, maybe let's do a bit of a presentation. So as I said, my name is Peggy van der Plassche. I'm the founder of the Microdose Diet, and I'm all about psychedelic-powered career development, professional and personal growth. So why is that mentoring topic so interesting? So I've been a mentor and I've been a mentee. And if you work, whether in the corporate world, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you've been told you need a mentor, you need to mentor, and so on. And that's really the party line, like mentoring is the shit. And the question I ask myself is that is it really true? Is mentoring this magic tool, or is it really more like a myth and totally overrated? So, again, on that panel, it was interesting because everyone jumped on, oh, mentoring is so important. But I have never really seen any proof point for me as a mentor or as a mentee that actually what we think about when we talk about mentoring, this very structured program where every month or every 6 weeks you're speaking with a mentor for a year, 2 years, about your career and your business. What I've seen in terms of mentoring now is more the other way around, in the sense that, okay, if I'm a mentor, I barely meet someone, and after 15 minutes, they're already asking me to become their mentor, meet them every month, but also open my network to them and ideally find them a job or find them a client. And I'm always like, okay, you don't know me. We have no relationship. I could be a terrible mentor and give you very, very bad advice, but people are believing that to be successful, they need a mentor. They don't ask themselves the question, is it true? And they're not asking themselves either if they approach the right one. So I can tell you from a mentor perspective, if you barely know someone and after 15 minutes, you're already asking them to transform your career, transform your company, it's not going to happen because they want to know you first. Obviously, that makes sense. And, that's one thing that I've been loving with microdosing mushroom, which is what I recommend to do for personal and professional growth, is to use your critical thinking and stop following the script. I understand everyone is telling you, you need to get a mentor or you need to get a mentee. But the reality is, does it even bring any value to anyone, or is it a check the box exercise? And that's what I really like with microdosing, and especially, the protocol I developed, the microdose diet, is that the whole goal is to get you off the autopilot and to use the critical thinking you have and maybe not use in order to really ask and say, is it even true? So what I see a lot with mentoring as well is that mentees are looking for very senior mentors, so people who've been extremely successful. But very often what it means is that they're also quite older. And the reality is that a playbook from 10, 15, 20 years ago, whether a playbook for your career or a playbook for your business, it is not working anymore. Even something, if you're asking someone about their social media strategy that they used successfully 3 years ago, it's not accurate anymore. Things change so fast. And someone who's in a very senior position cannot really relate to what's happening to you. If they've been, senior executive or successful entrepreneur for 10 years, they don't understand what it is to be a junior in a company today or what it is to start a business. So be very careful with this idea of the more senior the mentor, the better it is. I really don't think it's the case. I think it's very irrelevant. So where do I think personally the value is, and where did I see the value, both as the person asking the questions and the person receiving the advice? And for me, it's all about the peer power, having conversation with people who are at the same level than me or maybe slightly ahead and who are actually living pretty much the same thing at the same time. Because not only their advice is very relevant in terms of context, but they are also more likely to share specifics. I don't need a mentor telling me things like, oh, well, follow your passions or, work hard and network. I don't need that. I don't need to spend an hour every month to get that type of insight. I can buy any stupid business book and in 5 minutes reading the table of contents and learning that. So what you need when you are in a mentoring relationship, whether as a mentee or as a mentor, is specifics information. What is the actual compensation for that job? Who is the person you did an introduction to? And that is really something that I find personally with peers is way easier to open the kimono. And there is one thing I want to mention again, even in a peer relationship, don't be that person who after 15 minutes already asks for 25 introductions, meeting every month. And if it's what you want, well, pay for it. And what I mean by paying for it, I'm not saying pay for the coffee or pay for the lunch, pay as an advisory services, as a coach services, because people don't have time to allocate to someone they don't really know, just because that person needs help. So many people need help everywhere. And if I have to need to give help to someone, it might not be an entrepreneur or banker. Maybe it's going to be someone who's actually underprivileged. So, that's something as well. You need to be realistic. If you're asking people significant amount of time, significant amount of effort, you need to compensate them for that. And that's going to bring me to the next step, which is sponsorship. So everyone is raving about sponsorship. Again, that's the party line. Went from mentorship to sponsorship. So mentoring is really about, giving advice, while sponsoring is actually about putting your neck on the line for someone. So if there is a promotion to be given, it's to sponsor and support that person. Or if there is a new job, or maybe you're looking for a new supplier, it is someone who's going to put their name on the line in order to open the door for you. You still have to do the job and close the deal, but at least they're really, really strongly supporting you. So that is the dream. That is ideal. That is next level mentoring. That is great in principle. I love it. But there is a kicker here, is for someone to put their neck on the line for you, something else needs to come back. And very often, that's why you see this principle of sponsorship that are basically reserved for family members, very close friends, or offsprings of very close friends, or maybe member of an alumni network. But you're not going to see someone put their neck on the line for you just because they decided to sponsor you. That is extremely rare. And I mean, you might find that, but it's extremely rare. So you're going to say, oh, do I find a sponsor? So the only way from my perspective to go there is alignment of interest, common interest. So if their agenda and your agenda align, then you're likely to have someone to put their neck on the line for you. They're actually supporting their own agenda at the same time. You're convenient, and that's why it happens. And I think it's the only way to go, unless you're very lucky and your dad has a lot of connection, and these connections want to be friendly with your dad. Might not be the case. So the whole mentoring and sponsoring, I think, again, there is more than meet the eye. Use your critical thinking, microdosing, in order to not just follow stupidly what you're told and run after a potential mentors with a resume in order to get your dream job. So mentoring, from my perspective, feels more and more like a bait and switch, where you have mentors who are actually looking to check the box, they're supporting underrepresented youth, they're represented women, anyway. So they are actually using the principle of saying, I am a great person, I'm mentoring women, this and that. And trust me, I met a lot of people like that. I even been, as a mentee of people like that. The only thing they're looking is checking the box to say, I mentored that person. Usually that means they paid coffee twice and they give you advice that are really random and again, very unuser friendly, like follow your passion. Great, I'm super happy. That's really not helpful. So what do you want? It's real information. It's specific insights. It's people who are actually willing, not might, are willing to give you the hard truth. And ideally people that will sponsor you, but that is next level shit. So I really, really, really want two things from you. First, I want to hear what are your experiences as a mentor or a mentee, because that's always funny. But also, I really want you to start thinking, have you been just spoon-fed that idea that mentoring is so important or that a Spencer is going to change your career? Well, actually, the data point is not there and you're just swallowing what you're told. If it's the reality, my friend, it's time to get off the autopilot and decide for yourself what makes sense for you. Bye again. Thank you for listening. Again, Peggy van der Plassche, the microdose diet, all things psychedelic powered, especially professional and personal development. Bye. Have a good day. Take care.